And it is that time again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the KOD League Season number 4 broadcast of the lower bracket matchup between Wheel Wreck While Whistling and Fire Dota. I'm Pithy Lagoon. Thanks for once again joining me for what could be, and might be, and very well should be an exciting match between our two teams here. Winner moves on to they will move on to play up against Duop in the lower bracket final. The winner of that will move on to play Team Freedom in the grand final for the grand prize in this league. So this is now or never for the teams. Fire have been working through the lower bracket the entire time, and they've been trying to do their best, but they already started on the short end of the stick. They're just trying to make that stick last for as long as possible. Meanwhile, Wheel, they just recently dropped down, and they've been trying to make their way through the lower bracket pretty well. So we'll see which one comes up on top here, and we'll have to go face Duop, who have been doing pretty well in their own right. We'll just be awaiting the winner of this one. Only 3 games left in the KOD League Season number 4. So if we look at this draft, Wheel, they're going to be picking up the Underlord and Disruptor. Pitler, definitely one of those heroes that, as we've seen, has been known to absolutely dominate the offlane. Unless sometimes he's paired up against the Timbersaw, which Fire Dota might decide to go with here. They also get the Pudge. We've seen Fluff and Stuff play that to some pretty big effect earlier in the week, so that might be his hero here. Has played well before for Team Fire. Also looking at these bans, Fire taking away the Dragon Knight and the Meepo from Ifrit, trying to focus on the mid lane bans here. They don't really want him to play certain heroes, so they're going to try to ban away the ones that he is pretty experienced with. I don't know if I can hear the music at all. Yeah, it is there. Let me know if the game sound is a little bit off. Might be a little bit low. I'm going to try to change it when we get into the game. When you run 2 different games, one of them being extremely loud, sometimes your levels can get a little bit messed up. I was casting a game called Paragon for about 5 hours earlier today, so might be a little bit tired right now, but we only have one best of 3 series to go through, so we should be completely fine. I don't really see too many difficulties in doing the series, and maybe I'll even get someone to help me cast it in some future games. We are going to ban away the Rubik and the OD with their next couple of bans. Rubik is something that we've seen quite a bit of in a lot of these matches. Definitely is useful, and since he can get some levels early, it's definitely possible for him to have more of an impact in the game because of that. Get some spell steals. We're not really seeing supports get too late into the game without having their level 6, which is where we see a lot of heroes start to become more impactful on the map. Team Fire will now pick up the Lena. Not too much of a setup for her. Maybe she's able to put out the LSA onto the rotting Pudge target, but more importantly, I think that Fire might have put Brink on the mid lane Lena before, so we'll just have to see if they decide to run that as a core, or if they put the Lena as more of a support. The Vengeful Spirit will be the next one from Wheel. Wondering if we're going to see more of the minus armor from Wheel. As they pick up the Vengeful Spirit, they don't have another spot for a support, and Slarter was banned out by them, but they could go for more minus armor, say the they could go for something like a Templar Assassin in the mid lane. It'd be interesting, certainly against Lena, and might be able to actually match up pretty well there. Fire managed to pick up the Clockwork, most likely for Brax, although they could run it as a support, which is a little bit better for the Lina. Might be able to get some good LSAs in the middle of that. And Wheel will be able to pick up the Lifestealer, so we don't really have too much of a good carrier for him right now, but Wheel could definitely pick that up in one of their last pickups here.
5 seconds remaining.
In their last drafting spot. So we are starting to get through this draft. Draft really is not really my favorite part of the game. Definitely more interested in the game. You can't really have any kind of hype through a draft. Oh my lord, they picked up the Lifestealer. What a beautiful hero. It's amazing. Who picks up that hero? Literally everybody right now. Unless it gets banned out. I don't know. You can't get that much excitement into a draft, even though they are very interesting. It's not really the same kind of thing. Maybe if I had another friend, but he decided to get into a game of Dota instead of showing up for this one. So with the TA and Viper ban, something that we see is pretty usual for the end of the draft. Both of those heroes getting taken away. We're going to have to see which heroes these teams pick up, thinking that each one is down to their mid. Although Team Fire could still put the Lina in the mid lane. Queen King will get picked up for Wheel. It would be interesting if Fire could decide to run the Clockwork as a support. He can get up close and personal with the Lifestealer inside the cogs, although he may not really want to, might just leave him there, and it will be a sniper from Fire. So they are not very tanky right now. When the Queen of Pain gets up to level 6, she can definitely put a lot of pain on the sniper. And we don't have a Centaur right now for Fire, which is usually what we see a sniper picked up with. They don't really have anything to get him out of trouble, no kind of save for a sniper, so he's going to have to make sure that he doesn't get picked off here. But if he gets going, he definitely can output a huge amount of damage. So we will be getting into this matchup here. Also, Disruptor against a Clockwork is kind of an interesting play, since Disruptor can just glimpse the Clockwork right out of his cogs and back all the way across the map. So Clockwork's gonna have to be kind of careful where he decides to go in, and could easily get things turned around as well. We'll have to see if we can see those kinds of turns rounds as we get into game number 1 of our best of 3. This is for a spot in the lower bracket final as we get to the end of this COD League. Season number 4. And we'll be getting out to the lanes right now. Going out for an early observer ward. Fire will be getting those pretty deep because Wheel decided that they did not want to get any of those deep wards. Didn't feel like investing money into the TPs, not into the smokes at all. They just decided to go into the lanes and let Fire get a lot of vision around the map. Vengeful Spirit does have an observer ward, and the pit ward has one as well.
30 seconds to battle.
So I think that my volume is probably a lot louder than the game, so I'll just turn that up a little bit. Hopefully that's okay. Yeah, I think that should be fine. Hopefully it doesn't ramp up in the team fights. Alright, so here we go into our first match. It's Fire versus Wheel. Ready to get that little bit of an advantage into game number 2. And right now it's going to be the Queen of Pain on the mid lane, played by Ifrit. 2017 helping out with the creep up block a little bit. He's not going to be going into the offlane at all, deciding that it's going to be way too scary for himself. So he goes into the jungle instead, waiting for those creeps to spawn. So they'll be giving a free lane over to TC to start. Getting the block off onto a couple of those creeps. and letting the range creep get out of there. So make sure that it starts getting taken down first so that Brax is going to find it a little bit easier in this lane as he tries to get through the first couple of levels. Dirt does get the miss deny. Sniper again trying to do his best against Ifrit, but Ifrit does throw out the dagger and Sniper's going to be taking quite a bit of harass from it. Fire going through the trees. Whitebeard doesn't have a whole lot to do in this lane because Hitler is currently farming inside the jungle. Really going to be pressuring that lane at all, and he can keep the clarity going thanks to the new mechanics on the clarity. Ifrit gets that salve canceled right away underneath the shrapnel. That was not going to have too much longevity on him. Ifrit trying to keep this Sniper out of here. Wants to come in with the dagger, but he's going a little bit far here. Ifrit does have the blink to get away. That's a very defensive build from him. The Triton will get popped. 2017 hanging out there for a little bit more powerful mana as well.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Brax is managing to get a few last hits here. Juggernaut is doing extremely well at bottom, but that's to be expected. He's not got anyone to harass him or anything. So with the Underworld already up to level 2, perhaps he rotates down on the bottom. It's at level 2 right now, so we have both the Firestorm and Atrophy R, so he is missing out on a couple of levels and might just decide to go down the bottom right now.
I slip below sight.
Brax going with the taunt around the Lifestealer. But, I mean, neither one really seems to care. Maybe the Underworld's going to take some harass at bottom. But right now, Brax is up to level 3. Underworld, he's at level 2, still invisible. Maybe you're just waiting for that opportunity that arises when Pitward reveals himself. Alina will also rotate it off of the lane, leaving 2017 with some free XP here. Here is making their way to top. Disruptor hasn't really been able to do so much right now except to get the pull off over to the side. But neither team really wants to do a whole lot right now. Maybe a rotation on the mid. Whitebeard has been pretty well scouted out for now with the Observer War on the high ground. Whitebeard starts to go towards the rune spot, but he's a little bit ahead of time for that. So right now, it's really not doing too much right now. Couple stuff waiting in the trees. He's actually up to level 3, so he's managed to find quite a bit of farm on his Pudge, and he'll walk forward, and he's probably scouted out a little bit, bumping stuff into the trees. You don't need to be careful of him. The Mechanical will go out, and Leister hopped right back into it thanks to the cogs. Ifrit getting a little bit low at mid. Another Shrapnel's going to get dropped down. Ifrit getting very low. Hopefully for him. The Sniper has not gone level 6 for the Assassinate yet, so Ifrit manages to stay alive for now. So that means that we're going to be still hanging out with 0 kills on the board. Juggernaut still farming up the Storm at bottom. Well, not a Storm, but he's getting a lot of farm because farming up a Storm Spirit would be kind of OP. Firestorm goes out. TC wants to move forward. The LSA comes in from behind. 2017 tries to TP away, and he does not manage to get out. TC with the last little tick on the Blade Fury manages to find the first blood with the help of Whitebeard and his double damage ring. More than enough damage to get through both Atrophy, Aura, and the Pitward's health. Moving forward for the dagger again. Brink doesn't really seem to like this at all, and he's going to go right back up the hill. Pudge is waiting for the hook. Fluff and Stuff waiting on the... Oh, he's actually going to get it. Ifrit manages to blink away. Nothing that Fluff and Stuff can do to keep him there. There's a stun out on the Brax, but the cogs are going to get him away. And Brax actually TP's out with all of the disables and control that Wheel had already being used on cooldown. It was just the easiest TP of his life. Also, there wasn't anything like a double damage ring to make him die even faster there. Still farming on the mid lane, so this is a pretty quiet game, so you have to start to think about who it's going to benefit. Not really sure. I think that it's probably going to benefit Wheel a little bit here. As long as Lifestealer can get his farm, he does have the Queen of Pain to take him into fights, and they would be able to gank pretty soon. Brack still up to the Tranquil Boots, trying to get his level 6, is just nearly level 5 right now. Omnislash over on the bottom lane, 2017 in some trouble. The Dragon Slave comes through, and they clean up the pit ward again, so that will be another one going the way of Team Fire. And TC eats a mango, gets himself a pretty full pool of mana there. Brings still with 3 charges onto his shrapnel now. And full health, nearly 420. And Ifrit is trying to work on his farm. He's got the boots coming to him right now. CC's been trying to put some damage onto a tier 1 throughout most of this. And eventually the pit ward will show up stopping him. There's a lot of rotations on the Ifrit. Ifrit does not have vision of the high ground with the Fluff and Stuff waiting for the chance to throw out a hook. So get to the high ground, and Fluff and Stuff goes over, misses it. He tried to be on point with the LSA, and just the way that that combo works, they need to be throwing out the LSA before the hook even gets a chance to miss. So Lina wastes a little bit of mana there, but it's not a huge deal. She has still enough for at least the combo of the two. And we go over towards 2017. He doesn't have vision of the Pudge and Lina coming over. Pudge about to go to the high ground. He's looking for the hook. He's looking to get it on the 2017, forcing him away. Here comes it. Yeah, baby. They're going to get 2017 stuck there. LSA is going to keep him in there for a little bit long. Lots of TPs coming through as Fluff and Stuff might get going on here. There's a stun. There is the Lifestealer, and Fluff and Stuff cannot even deny himself. Lots of TPs coming through, and that Charlie decides to switch lanes at that exact time. Getting a good revenge kill, but still, now the rest of Wheel are at bottom, and they also left Clockwork to get his level 6 as well. So, TC, oh no, he's right next to Dirt Derp. He had the invis rune. He needs to walk a little bit faster right now. He uses the phase boost to go a little bit faster, and he doesn't want to use the Omni Slash right now. He got the Vengeful Spirit low enough, he thinks. She should not be doing too much around the map for a while. Shrine is still not available to use. And Fire are getting the nicer engagements around the map right now. With Wheel being forced into a couple of rotations. Sniper's not really had too much pressure put on him at all. Looks like he wants to get another set of boots. Not really sure why, he already has one. Infest goes out on the Ifrit. He'll keep continuing to try to last hit on the mid lane. Well, Brax will push in top. Just a little bit. Just the tip. Rotation on the mid. We got the smoking from Dirt Derp and Layla. They also have Queen of Pain in the vicinity. They want to get Brink. He's just sitting there. And, oh, there may have been vision of those heroes. Layla inside the trees. There can be the magic missile, and Ifrit comes in from the side. Lots of damage, and the hook is going to pull him back. Fluff and Stuff will die. Ifrit will actually clean up Brink. Fluff and Stuff manages to kill Layla there, and Lifestealer, he'll be able to find another one. It's just Wheel going way too far in. Now Lifestealer without really a prayer in the world. Brack's getting more mana. He's got the hook shot available. Could he go for it here? He'll miss it. And maybe Fluff and Stuff can hit his hook instead. Wants to back up a little bit, make sure that he doesn't get uked. And now they will keep the Lifestealer. No. Fluff and Stuff really need to be on time with that hook. It is possible to stop the TP there, but you have to have the right timing for it. You have to get it at a specific time the way that the hook works now. they kind of changed where the hook goes mechanics-wise when the Dendi hooks came through. At bottom, Derp trying to spin around, but TC spins better. And also Fluff and Stuff and Whitebeard were there to help secure. Ifrit's still getting his farm up. Waiting to see if Fire can get some more control around the map. They don't really have too much to take care of Queen of Pain unless her blink is down. And Lifestealer also has the armlet, so he's going to be really difficult to kill right now. Ayla stepping up to the mid lane. There's an infest into the Queen of Pain. She doesn't have a Sonic Wave for another 30 seconds, but she still does have a huge amount of damage available for her. Also a double damage rune. Now over at bottom, Derp comes in, gonna get hooked over to Fluff and Stuff, slowing him down, and they'll also throw the kill over to Fluff and Stuff. Couple of TPs here as TC starting to get stuck in here. Queen of Pain is going to blink forward, Fluff and Stuff instant trouble. Ifrit looking for a little bit more. Omni Slash goes out, it's all onto Ifrit. They could keep him there with the net, but they're not going to. TC tries to TP out. No, his spin is going to end way too late, and that is going to lead to Wheel finding 2 very nice kills against Team Fire.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Brink is still going on to this tier 1 tower. Has to be careful with the Vengeful Spirit going around. She can easily get the deny, and she will. A little bit outplayed there. Derp. He's gonna get hit by Whitebeard over on the high ground. There's the Laguna Blade, and Brink will, with that first little tick of the shrapnel, manages to kill the Vengeful Spirit. Nice little bit of gold for him. Let me see if I can get that up there. Okay. Got to wrap around towards the mid lane. Fluff and Stuff leading the way with Whitebeard there as well. Brink wants to maybe get in on the action. And there will be the hook out on the way. Well, that was beautiful from Fluff and Stuff. And the Helm of the Dominator creep, giving the vision that they need to find the kill. Will might even think that that creep was everything that gave them the kill, but there is a word on the high ground. So that's going to be Fire getting to the... I don't even know why I still have the CS on. I guess that happens a little bit too much. We have most of Fire ganging up on the top lane. Wheel will show up with Red coming from the side. They want to start going on the Brax. We'll get the hook shot forward. And also 2 heroes out inside the cogs. He'll be hit by the Stag Storm, but Brax already has the Blade Mail up. Let's try to get away from Lifestealer. And there's a hook. Oh my lord. Hook and the Assassinate following the Lifestealer around, trying to get enough vision of Ifrit to get the kill. Meanwhile, they're going to get the Hudge ultimate out into 2017. He will try to TP out, but he is not going to make it. That's 4 dead on the top lane for Fire, and they might want to keep going with the healing word being dropped down. Brink is going absolutely ham on his sniper, and also Fluff and Stuff. He's getting the big hooks as well. And this should be a tier 1 tower going their way. Fudge going on the backside in case anybody dares to show their face here. But with all the losses that Wheel have sustained, they definitely want to back up. Fire, they are pushing a little bit further forward in this lane. They have to be careful about going too far, especially with most of the spells being down. Just kidding, they don't have any spells right now down. The only one that possibly could have been was the Omni Slash, but he hasn't even used that yet. So Fire getting a lot of vision around this tier 2 tower, and they might try to take it down right now. Lifestealer stinging away the creep wave, and he manages to dodge the hook for just long enough there. Alright, so we'll force that creep wave out, and it will probably be Fire getting away from that one, but they might decide to go for a tower in the mid lane. They have Clockwork up, or with the Invis rune rather. Derp steps up, and that will be a hook shot. He's got a lot of damage from the battery assault as well, and they don't even need all of the hate that was generated towards the Vengeful Spirit. Now Whitebeard in some trouble. There could be a glimpse back on the Whitebeard. He'll be taken away out of this one, and they will be able to kill off the support. with Lifestealer getting out of the Ifrit Queen of Pain to make the difference there.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And Fire, they still try to push in a little bit more on the top, but that's not really going anywhere. Lifestealer getting closer to his Echo Saber. And if we look at the net worth graph, we're about 6,000 in favor of Fire at this point. A bit less for XP. And TC wants to find a little bit more here. He's got the Mud Golem going around with him. Nice little pet that he has. And Fire should have a Maelstrom pretty soon as well. So the items will start to stack up for Fire, starting to get to that point where they can really start to get a lot of items. But we are going to be pushing some things in as well. They've got a couple heroes grouped at top. They have 3 at mid, underneath the Observer Ward, of course. And with all those heroes being seen, Fire might be pretty confident about trying to gank on the top lane, or just trying to push it out. Whitebeard wants to go on the side. He's got the Laguna Blade, and he's not afraid to use it at all. A TP into the top lane from the Lifestealer. Whitebeard doesn't really want to go in on that one. Waiting for the assassinate. And Lifestealer knows that there is someone here, but I don't know if he's going to be able to catch Whitebeard at all, but the glimpse can. Just keeps the vision up, and Whitebeard has no way of being able to survive. Brax away from mid, so Fire, they're going to be losing the Lina again. Going to be hoping that hopefully she doesn't feed too much more, because any kill that you give over to Wheel.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Wow, that was water. Brink will be chased down the bottom lane. And again, that's one of the big problems with the sniper. You don't really have the best ways of getting out of engagements like that. In terms of his Maelstrom, he's managed to pick up the Mithril Hammer, but he can't really get too much else right now. Buffing stuff over in the trees, and he is going to get scared out here. Buffing stuff tries to get away. He uses the ultimate on the Lifestealer, doing literally nothing to him, and so much damage there as well. Now Fire trying to fight here. The Glimpse is going to go back. TC spins around. He's going to stay there, and he's going to get caught up in the pit of mouth. There's a lot of heroes here for Wheel. Queen of Pain to the other side. TC tries to back away, but he can't do it. And Whitebeard will also be caught. That's so many heroes dying inside the trees. As Wheel, they get a huge fight at bottom and take basically what Team Fire took from them top.
Radiant's structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has
So Wheel,
fallen.
they managed to strike back on the towers. Maybe can get a tier 2 of their own, while the Clockwork tries to do some pushing at top. Wheel will back away for now. Taking a look at the items that we have, it's an Echo Saber for the Lifestealer, very close to an Assault Cuirass. Ifrit, he's got a lot of the workings of his Lincoln Sphere as well. What does the Clockwork have? I think that's going to be a Force Staff, yeah. He's going to have the Force Staff to get around his cogs. Also may be able to get a really good cogs off into the enemy with those. But still, players are still trying to farm up right now. TC will get closer to the Manta style. We will have some bigger items pretty soon, but the towers have been already pushed pretty hard. Can Fire actually take a Roshan here? They're pretty close to the pit with the smoke. Buffing stuff moving over to the high ground. Their vision of Wheel is pretty good here, actually. Let's see. Oh no, they don't see too much of Wheel. I missed the button, but Buffing stuff is going to get up here, and he sees the Vengeful Spear, and he hits the hook. He was not expecting that one at all. So much damage from Fire. They absolutely blow up the Venge. No chance for her to stay alive. TC will push him top. He's got some good armor for himself. That tower will not stand for all that long. And after that, we may see Team Fire starting to go for mid, or maybe the Roshan. Meanwhile, Wheel, they're not too interested in trying to defend their towers right now. They want to get some pushing done on their own. And be pretty aggressive. So we still have Fire trying to push in mid. I don't know if we are going to let this fall. They may not have a choice, but they may try to fight. TC stepping up with his Juggernaut. He has more than enough gold to buy the Manta style. Just needs to not die here. Drop down the Kitty Cat. And Leicester coming around the backside. He'll be taking a lot of damage from Brink, and Clockwork keeps him inside the cogs. Taking away from the rest of the team. TC looks at it for a while, decides he can't really do anything about it. And we're going to have Ifrit pulled in. Nearly killed off there. Topsy Blade Mail a little bit late, but she will blink away.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And the Ancient Granite Golem continues to take a lot of damage from the Sniper, and Pudge will hit a hook onto a creep. I guess that doesn't hit on the Ancients. And they'll be forced away from mid for now, but probably not for long with the creep wave still pushing up here. Fire can go into the Roshan pit. I'm not sure if they decide to, especially with most of Wheel still being up.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Brax could get himself cut out right now, but he has the cogs to be able to force this out. If it will blink forward, he's got a lot of damage for Brax. He manages to get the Force Staff over the side to hit his mouse. Oh, nice hook shot back over towards the Pudge, keeping himself alive. And Fire start to make their way around the Roshan pit again. No hook shot for another 25 seconds for Brax, and the hook goes out. Oh my lord, that nearly got Ifrit. Nearly touched that Queen of Pain Butox. Comes back, but Pudge will get silenced. Lots of damage on the Layla, swap back, and you do have Fluffy stuff being killed off by the White Spirit. Now look at that huge LSA from the Lina, even managing to kill off the Vengeful Spirit as Fire will be forced back. Looking for some vision around the side. Brax inside the pit. He does have the hook shot. Thinking about throwing it out. He's not going to do it for now. Whitebeard maybe wants to get into this one though. There's going to be the Dark Rift, and they do leave the Light Steward, but the rest of Wheel are just out of there. Meanwhile, with the Clockwork hook shot to the high ground, right underneath the Dire Shrine. This might not be the best place for Fire to try to fight. The Shrine is going to get popped with the Light Steward getting so much. TC tries to get away. One more hit would do it, but a nice ultimate from Pudge is going to stop the Light Steward right where he stands. Now Fluff himself tries to get away through without as much damage as possible. Layla caught out underneath the cogs. Ifrit's here now as well. Glimmer King is going to keep Layla alive. Brax has to get away. Light Steward nearly killed off. Very close for him. That mid lane will still get pushed out. Juggernaut back up to quite a bit of health, and he does have level 15, going for those talents that you just saw. TC to make sure that the tier 2 tower in the mid lane goes down. So we're seeing that big pushing style from teams. They take a little bit of an advantage as Brax also finds the kill on the Derp again with a hook shot. Get another one and may decide to go into the Roshan pit with that one. It's got to be soon from them. I mean, if you can get the Roshan, taking the high ground gets a lot easier, especially against a team like Wheel. Against any time, really. Any team. Fire currently at about 5,000 gold lead over Wheel. And it should be a Maelstrom soon for TC as well. So the items keep going in. Wheel still trying to keep their relevance in this match. And taking a look at the White Steward, he should have his AC soon. Perhaps we see a good influx of damage with that one. Only tier 2 tower for Fire to kill off here is the tier 2 at bottom. Get popped by meaning that they can't really fight there right now. Or they can, but it's not really the same advantage that they're used to when fighting next to the shrine. Alexi will be the one pushing up bottom with the Ancient Black Dragon. Pushing it pretty well here. I'm not sure if Fire realized that there is an Ancient Black Dragon close, burning down their creeps. Fire ready to go into Roshan though. They know that Wheel aren't really interested in trying to fight here, but they decide not to actually kill it. 2017 leading the way. He is galloping through the Radiant jungle. Let's see if he can find a pick-off for the pit of Malice. He'll go in the mid. Leicester is currently pushing out the waves. Making sure that those creeps disappear. Getting a little bit of creep cutting going on. Brax looking for the hook to the high ground. Doesn't have the best vision here, as is per usual. And top is still getting pushed out by the creep wave. It's not too big of a push, but when you have Clockwork just throwing rockets all over the map, it's really easy for these lanes to get passively pushed. Brax going for the robot all around the place. The rocket flare out to mid. Was thinking about going for a hook shot, but his core staff doesn't result in much. So we are still trying not to die, which is a good thing, I guess, for them. Crimson Garden and Mechanism on 2017 for now. No one's gone for Roshan. I felt comfortable about doing it. Getting some damage onto the Ancient Black Dragon, but it's very little, and that thing's going to be very tanky as well. And Fire still going for the farm. We've got a Shadowbane and a Maelstrom on Sniper. A Juggernaut has his, I guess, Maelstrom being delivered right now. Leicester has not gotten out of that Ancient Black Dragon for a while. I'm not sure what he thinks he's doing in there. Perhaps he thinks that he's becoming an Ancient Black Dragon. I used to think that a couple times, definitely. If you sit in it long enough, you start to forget who you are. He'll be pushing out bottom with the rest of his team, looking for the last tier 2, and Wheel don't really look like they're going to defend this at all. We just have Ifrit going for top. Tower will get low, but I don't think that sending the Pit Ward in here by himself is going to really do too much. He steps up, puts down the Firestorm. Hook is going to be off the mark, nearly killed off 2017, as Sniper decides to switch targets and go right for him. They're stepping up, for some damage. Here. Meanwhile, we got TC killing off the Elysier over to the side. Layla could get caught out. That's a hook in from Clockwork. And the Darkness will get used, pulling the Underworld into a lot of trouble. The LSA doesn't matter because Assassinate just wipes the Pit Ward off the face of the earth. And Fire want to go for the tier 3 in the racks right now. 2,000 gold their way. Only a buyback on Disruptor. And Fire, they have been knocking on the door for a while, but they're going to slam it down this time around. They'll get one tier 3. All the tier 2s are now dead. And we should be able to get one full set of racks here. 10 seconds left on the Disruptor respawn. I don't know if they even decide to back right now, but there is a lot that they could take. They could go for tier 3s. They can go for shrines. I'd probably go for shrines and then maybe Roshan. Should give you enough gold to go for the next tier of items. So that seems to be what they'll do, at least in some part. They go for the shrines and start to go towards the mid lane as well. Probably a really good time to take Roshan. Juggernaut currently with the most farm on the map. It's going to be 500 gold away from a Mjolnir for him. The Dire side still trying to get their items up here. Leicester does have an AC, but it doesn't really seem to help him all that much. Puff and stuff looking for the haste rune. He picks it up. He's walking really fast now. Brax puts out the rocket flare. He does see a couple of heroes, but they will back up. TC doing some ridiculous damage, to be honest. And he'll be doing a little bit more soon when he gets his Yona up. So lots of Hyperstones be being picked up by the teams. TC still working towards it, and he does pick up the Hyperstone from the secret shop right now, so he's got his full Mjolnir. They honestly should go for Roshan right now, but it might be a pick-off time for Fire. They do have a Pudge. It's very good to go for that kind of thing. They'll get the hook out onto the Acolyte. The Lifesteal can be kept there. He doesn't get a chance to get out, but Dirt should be able to get the stun away. In fact, he does, but they don't really seem to care. They have complete vision of Lifesteal. They'll also get the Omni Slash onto him. It's really some beautiful placement of the Rocket Flare. Oh, flip shot. A little bit off the mark from Clockwork, but they're ready to keep going here. Brink is going to be Shadow Bladed up. Going for the high ground. Fluff and stuff just leaps right up there with the Blink. And Team Fire should be ready to take their second tier 3 of the match. Brax has the Aghanim Scepter on Clockwork clearly so that he can miss more hook shots. I think that's why you buy that item. Another one in 1 second. He's going to waste some more mana, right? These guys are going to melee Rex a little bit, but the heroes are starting to respawn from Wheel. Forcing back Team Fire. Especially with the Lifesteal respawning in about 5 seconds. Shrine will be taken by Team Fire. They haven't gone into Roshan Pit just yet. He decides to farm up some Ancients. Whitebeard's waiting in the mid lane with his Shadow Blade. And Fire... they should be thinking about Roshan pretty soon. The lanes are pretty pushed out. Maybe they want to go to the Shrine of their own just to make sure that they have a lot of mana for this one. Sniper has some little crits to help him out with the damage. They're actually going to smoke up right now and make a beeline right for the Wheel side of the map. Dirt should be able to catch him out. His smoke is going to get broken. Whitebeard continues to go forward. Wants to look for someone else trying to save the Vengeful Spear, but over to the high ground. Hurricane is there with the Lifesteal inside. Lifesteal gets out. Brax is inside of the cogs with him. That's not a great place for him to be. And the Queen of Pain blinks out. To dodge some of the blade, but he will continue to try to blink away with the Lifesteal going down. Meanwhile, nope, that'll be it. We are going to call it. Fire take a pretty easy victory here. And we'll see if they can have even more when we get into game number 2. So that was, I guess, kind of interesting. Fire, they played pretty methodically against Wheel here. They did very well in the early game. Fluff and stuff had some really nice hooks. And then it was just these cores getting pretty farmed. TC got quite a bit. Same with the Sniper. And Team Fire rode that wave to victory. So we'll see if this wave has any kind of crest or if they can continue this into game number 2. We'll want to try to strike back and see if they can't be avoiding their elimination here. So we'll be right back with game number 2 in just a few moments, guys. More Dota coming your way.
Pick.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to KOD Dota League. We've got Fire Dota versus Wheel, game number 2. Fire Dota taking game 1 pretty handily. I am Z-Rock, joined here by the caster from last game, Pithy and Legume. So game 1, that is you.
Yeah.
What'd you think of game 1?
5 seconds remaining.
Can I say it was boring? Fire just won. That was really
Reserve
it.
time.
like there was a
Yeah.
sniper in the mid lane and then nothing happened to it. The supports really did nothing for the entire first part of the game, and then they let the sniper live for a while. He got some farm, and that was pretty much the way the game went.
I mean, that kind of seems to be the norm with sniper games. If you can't manage to pressure him early, he gets to an item or two, then all of a sudden he's infinitely harder to kill. And then it kind of just gets out of control, like we saw last game. So we do see the SD picked up by Fire Dota. Luna's still left in the pool. We'll have to see if Wheel decides to go for the block pick or just go ahead and give him the super combo.
We've seen a lot of teams going for something like the Shadow Demon. They don't necessarily always go for the Luna. I've seen a couple teams just decide to go for like maybe something else with their second pick, almost forcing out other teams to ban out the Luna because they don't necessarily really want to play it. But with TC on fire, I think it's pretty safe to assume that they do want to pick up the Luna with their second pickup here.
Yeah, I mean, Luna's been the most common obvious pairing. I know earlier today in Dota Pit, we saw Jug Sniper both being picked up with Shadow Demon.
Oh,
So
yeah.
when they were able to siege the base efficiently, they had Jug just getting disrupted and pounding out massive damage, and when it had to be a little safer, they just disrupted the sniper, and it was like 800 range pressure.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
this control combo here out of Wheel is actually insane. Underlord Kunkka offers you like 8 seconds of uninterrupted disable in that pit with the
Probably
torrent and
more.
the boat. Yeah, might be. It's
'Cause,
a
like,
very,
you
very
can-
long time.
It's ridiculous how much they have there. And then I mean, they said that Kunkka got nerfed, but X is still, like, it has the potential of being ridiculous in so many different situations.
It's just one of those things that kind of got the like the Oracle treatment, right? Where it doesn't do enough early to really justify the pick anymore. But if you can get him through those first few levels, and maybe the bounty rune changes in 7.0 has helped a little bit, he can still be the terror he always was. X is still arguably one of the most broken skills in Dota.
Yeah, it is still pretty ridiculous, and things like the Kunkka, the Disruptor getting picked up, just extending fights past when you would think that they're supposed to end, can be extremely strong.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious to see how this goes here for them. The one thing I do notice right off the bat, they are a little bit lacking in the damage department with those first 2 picks, especially in the early game. Rain of Fire does do quite a bit from Underlord, but they really do need to find some higher damage heroes here with it. Something like the Sniper could be a good option, pump some damage in while still giving that control. Allows you to kind of safely clear those SD illusions later in the game if Sniper has items, but we will see.
Indeed, we will. Like you said, we'll definitely do need a little bit more damage this one. Considering that the heroes that they've picked up in the past, what do you think we're going to see for them? I mean, this kind of start is kind of not really saying a whole lot, except that they have a lot of control.
5 seconds remaining.
You know, I'm going to be perfectly honest. The wheel team, Derp's variants of this wheel team have been around for a long time. I have watched almost no COD Dota this season. So I haven't seen this iteration play very much. But I mean, I know the Invoker was always a really common pick for them back in the day. You know what I really want to see, though? I want to see Fire Dota go with a really aggressive shovey push strat. I want to see like a Razor come out of them as the mid liner and just run through the buildings. I really think, although you have Kunkka Underlord to really slow that down and you have that extra control, if you grab an early Dominator, an early mech, like you could be looking at going uphill at like 18 minutes if Wheel doesn't really find some damage to pump into this.
Well, it is still pretty early in the draft, and we'll have a lot of time. They're not really seeming too concerned about Rubik. They're going to pick it up here, and it gives them a slight bit more control, and it was banned out in the last match.
Okay, so again, no, it's control and not damage. So what do you look for to add some damage here? I mean, Templar Assassin probably comes to mind, especially with the way Psyblades work with illusions, because Psyblades Splash is the pre-mitigation damage it would do to a unit, and on illusions, you can really crit people huge with Psyblades. So maybe we'll see that come out. I'm not really sure.
I mean, that's
Sniper,
usually a very
still
safe
okay.
prediction. Like, usually teams ban out the Templar Assassin with one of the last two bans.
Yeah. Well, and then if you're wheel your carry options, I mean, Weaver is still in the pool. That's something that we've seen being picked up quite a bit more. I don't know. It's just a weird draft from Wheel right off the bat. Like, if they fall behind, if they're under leveled going into these team fights early on, they're gonna struggle like a lot. Rubik already isn't known for some insane lane presence, and neither is Kunkka.
Mirana.
Okay, so the Mirana from here from Fire Dota, I'm gonna assume it's gonna be mid Mirana. But even 4-roll Mirana with an SD is pretty insane.
Yeah, I have more of a feeling that's going to be fluff and stuff on the Mirana. He's been usually playing those like skill shot type heroes. He was on the Pudge in the last match, so he's definitely used to trying to hit those. And Wheel, I think they're one of the only teams that I see running a gyrocopter here. And then the way that they play it is they go like, I forget what it is first, but it's like Helm of the Dominator into an Aghanim Scepter into crits. And they've got some huge AoE with it, and that damage that you're talking about, they could definitely get it here. It just takes a while for the gyrocopter to get his farm there.
That's what I'm worried about, though. When are they going to have time to do this? I think Fire is really in a position to look at pushing hard and pushing fast. I like the clock here. I think it's good. It gives them a little bit of zone control. It gives them some much needed control, because at the moment their stuns are severely lacking. We did see Brax swing and miss on a couple hooks, but by the point in the game that happened, it kind of
didn't matter at all. I mean, he got the control that he needed, and some of his cogs were absolutely on point. So, I mean,
I still think I would, if that ends up being a 4-roll bottom, I really want to see Razor. I think it destroys TA, which is probably the most viable mid pick left. And the Tinker's already banned. Like, it just seems very good here. And if he goes an early mech or an early just Dragonlance Yasha, or I mean, really anything, if he gets items, I don't know how Wheel's going to be able to withstand the onslaught. Like, we've all seen how oppressive a Luna can be the second she picks up Dominator. Like, Luna's level 7, runs you with a Dom and a Shadow Demon, and you kind of just have to give up all of your tier 1s.
Yeah, but tier 1s don't mean thrones. I mean, it's really a battle to see who can like just get to an Aghanim Scepters first, honestly. Like, if Gyrocopter can get it early, then we'll have a lot in trying to get these creep waves out. I mean, you're sure you can get tier 1s, but you're gonna have a little bit more trouble getting through everything else. It still kind of does depend on Wheel hitting their combo, but the way that Wheel play the Gyrocopter, they push very well as soon as they pick up that Aghanim Scepter on him.
Yeah, and I think he's got to try to make the call. Like, so when you play Gyro, there's kind of two build paths. Yes, Eggs is a flex item you can throw in whenever if you want to rush it. That's fine.
That's what they do. They definitely do rush it.
But after that, you have two options. You either build for like the moment with stuff like SNY, drums, Dom, things like that, where you're looking to fight now, or you look to eventually get to a rapier with evasion, lifesteal, like you prep for all those things. You have so much high ground hold between Underlord's Pit and Fire, Kunkka's Torrent, Rubik's Fade Bolt, that maybe he could look to go the extremely late game gyro that was the terror we saw way back in TI3.
Templar
And there's the TA. So, I mean, the OD's good. Don't get me wrong. I think it gives more setup for bottom hooks. It gives another level of disruption. It's a good pickup here. It's very flexible, but I think Razor would have absolutely demolished this game.
Yeah, I'm actually not a big fan of the OD at all. If he does get initiated on, it's gonna be really difficult for him to survive. I mean, sure, you get 2 disruptions, and that can be strong sometimes, make things really annoying, but I don't really see the same kind of heroes that OD generally has success against, like your tanky strength heroes. It's just, I'm just not seeing where OD is going to be able to put out his damage.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, we saw earlier today, there was an OD in Dota Pit that went Midas first into Dragonlance into Blink into BKB. Basically, everything an OD needs to position himself and just try to get right clicks off. And he did drop, like, they ended up losing the game, but he did end up dropping like 2 or 3 ults that almost team wiped. He was doing so much damage. I think he's really just gonna have to worry about his positioning. I don't think we're gonna see the Veil of Discord build come out on him, really. I think we're gonna see like straight Force Staff or Dragonlance.
Yeah, probably.
So have you talked about the Fire team at all? Like who is on it and how this team came to be?
They're just a bunch of old guys, aren't they?
Well, sort of. TC, Whitebeard, Fluff, and stuff were like the tricore of Archon, basically.
Yeah.
Moo's original pro team. They all kind of went their separate ways. They all did some different things. Derp was even on it for a short time on the other team here. Brax is, I mean, he's a legend in his own right. If you've been watching Dota long enough, the guy played on Nirvana Int, LGD Int, NRV. He's played on a number of prolific teams back in the TI 1-2-3 era. But he kind of faded away for the last couple of years, so it's good to see him back.
Did he go to League?
And
or HOTS? Sorry.
Not in any competitive standpoint. He just decided to take a break, take a step back, and focus on life a little bit. But Brink actually is pretty much entirely a pub star. He's stood in for some teams. He's played a few competitive games here and there, but for the most part, he hasn't been on a stable team yet. So good to see this guy actually getting on a team with some notable players. I'm curious to see how he does. I mean, he did well last game, but the game was kind of handed to him.
Yeah, it kind of was. I mean, when you're playing a sniper, you just last hit things for a while. And I mean, not only did he not get ganked, but his team ganked for him as well. So he got some of those nice little bending trick shots on the assassinate. He's going to have an interesting lane here against the TA.
Yeah, this mid matchup should be TA favored, and it should be very boring. There really shouldn't be any kills coming out either way on it. I'm really focused on more so how Brax is going to find any experience, and I'm assuming Pitlord went jungle. Yeah, so he's going to find items, he's going to find gold. Brax is going to struggle a bit here in the early game.
Yeah, last time 2017 did start in the jungle, he might have been able to get into lane a little bit more, but he got a pretty good start there anyway. He eventually did rotate over, but the thing is, he just wasn't really able to be effective on that hero. Not really sure why that was, but
so by going down to the jungle he's in right now, it is a little bit safer. There's not really a high chance of that being warded, but you lose out on the fact that if TC pushes the lane out at all, you miss that free experience when it bounces off of the tower. Most pit lords you see just jungle these two camps and then just go push a wave out with fire and rinse and repeat. But they are posting up hard for Ifrit here in mid.
oh yeah.
But that ward, it's just sitting there.
Yeah, they're right
Well,
next
and
to it.
Wheel saw the dire ward get placed too. Their obs ward was down first. They watched Potom walk up there and set it down. So they're not only aware the heroes are there, they're aware it's warded. And good call from Ifrit here. Just say, nah, I don't want any part in this. I'll just go hit a jungle camp.
Yeah, he'll keep himself out of trouble there, and he is getting slightly low on mana, so we're probably going to see him go for the shrine right now, just to make sure that he has enough time to get up to the bottle, which will increase his farm rate on the mid lane a little bit more with some more mana. But right now that gank is being off the mark from Fluff and Stuff and Shadow Demon, so they're not able to use the combo as much as they'd like to here.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard. As long as this vision is good, to actually find this arrow is going to be incredibly difficult. Once Brink hits level 5, the Astral range gets to what I'd call a usable point, finally. Not good, but usable. And then they might be able to look to get something. But in the meantime, you do have Potom just nuking down some creeps, grabbing a quick level 3. So she's working her way up slowly but surely, even if they're not catching anything with these ganks.
And while the Fluff and Stuff and Shadow Demon are still walking around the map looking for some kind of kill, where they get scouted out again by the Radiant Observer. They're not really being... I mean, they need to smoke up for this pretty much. That's just the way that it goes. The supports for Wheel aren't really doing too much either. Now there's going to be the Astral in Prison, and the arrow is going to be on the mark. Templar Assassin is going to be getting those refraction charges up, means that she's going to be completely fine here. Fluff and Stuff is just walking up. Whitebeard takes a lot of damage from this one. Luckily for him, if it runs out of those refraction charges, but the disruption will be there again. Fluff and Stuff has an arrow. Derp was getting ready to try to block it, and Fluff and Stuff is ready for this arrow. Derp again wants to go in. Arrow's going to be just onto the catapult though, so not necessarily the worst thing for Fluff and Stuff, but not really what he wanted there. I don't see any case where they're actually killing the TA though.
Here's the huge thing out of this though. You force both Radiant supports middle, and Brax is actually in a position where he can get something out of this lane. The Pit Lord's still sadly sitting in the jungle, not participating, not getting that beautiful lane experience, being left alone top. And I mean, I think this is overall huge for Fire. The bottom's still getting some farm by arrowing neutrals, and you're making the Radiant supports run around like chickens with their head cut off right now.
Yeah, that's the second time that Rubik's gone onto the mid lane just to try to save TA. So he's been pulled off the lane quite a bit. Brax also getting some farm in the jungle, picking up the Iron Town, giving Fluff and Stuff a little bit of space at bottom if he wanted to try to get some XP. Just have to be careful against the Gyrocopter, but he's doing a pretty good job of keeping the wave pushed up for now.
It's really dangerous to be a Potom versus a Kunkka, because if you get X'd in the torrent, if you try to leap right when the X pulls you back, if you get caught by the torrent, you go nowhere with the leap, and it goes on cooldown. So he's probably a little scared to walk up the lane, because an X could just mean his instant death.
I don't really know how I feel about Wheel's decisions right now. Like, they're letting TC have not only free farm, but a free lane because the supports are doing so much as a roaming combo. I mean, also making life a lot easier for Brax getting some levels in the off lane. I mean, I don't know if they're gaining as much as they're losing here by letting TC free farm.
I absolutely agree. I don't think there was any reason for the Pit Lord to say, okay, I'm committed to the jungle for the entire early game. Like, there were so many opportunities where he could have just slammed the Rain of Fire down, grabbed maybe 1 or 2 CS out of the wave, but gotten all the experience. And yeah, TC's having the time of his life. I mean, the guy's basically at Dom once he runs to the side shop at 5 minutes.
And they're also throwing out the illusions onto the tower to start taking it down very quickly. They're sick of that one surviving. And Illusion should be able to take it down very fast, also taking up the creep wave. There's only so much that a Pit Lord's able to do now.
Yeah, had he been in lane, he'd be pushing like level 5, maybe level 6 by now. Every point in Wave of Fire or Firestorm is just insane, because you get closer to full clearing out a creep wave with one cast of it. And he just doesn't have the damage to clear waves right now. It's only doing about half of a wave's HP now with 1 cast. And I mean, if Radiant wanted to, they could commit on this. But TC just picked up the Dom. He's got that Satyr Vanisher now. By far the most broken of the creeps to grab.
It's so stupid.
So it's insane. I mean, I knew the second that I saw 1400 static HP on Dom that we were going to see that and the Cobalt getting picked up all the time.
I wish we saw more Kobolds, honestly. I think the only player that actually goes for those is like BSJ or something. Stuff taking a lot of damage from the Gyrocopter with the Rocket Barrage. Brax gets him out of trouble with the Cogs. Fluff and Stuff still getting quite a bit of XP around the map, up to level 4 right now. And actually nearly, well, he's about a full level behind the off laner. The X will go out onto Whitebeard. Maybe that Purge Creep can help out. Torrent's going to be there. Whitebeard keeping himself alive. The lift will come through, but the Satyr Creep is still tanking up the tower. Does Whitebeard actually go down here? Excellent play by TC so that Whitebeard doesn't take the tower aggro.
I mean, worth though he lost the Banisher.
It's worth. Come on, man.
I don't know, man.
I mean, it's a Luna. She can go over, clear this hard camp. Exactly how much is she gonna, like, how much pressure is she gonna have in the early game? Sure, there were 3 heroes there just now, but she's at the point where she can just go into the jungle if there's ever heroes showing up to her lane. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, but that was like your pet, and you just let it die.
Screw pets.
Wow. All right.
I mean, supports are kind of pets, I guess.
Viewership hates you now.
No,
So the
don't.
Kunkka is opting for the Zero Tidebringer build. He's just committing pretty heavily to X-Torrent, which is going to give him a little more versatility as a support, but it means he can't really be that ghetto offlaner when Pitlord wants to go jungle, where he can just splash down a wave of creeps, try to get a little bit of farm, but he's basically just going to be a walking torrent for the first 15 minutes of this game.
Ooh, Braxton's in trouble. He will be able to TP out, though. With the Gyrocopter being out of mana, there was no way that he could Rocket Barrage him down, and he probably didn't even have enough mana or damage at that point to kill the Clockwork anyway. So Brax gets away from another big aggression, and Gyrocopter's just left there without pretty much any mana.
I'm a little unsure here of Fluff's movements. I think he could have posted himself up more towards the top lane. Just the fear of the arrows and knowing that he's around would probably push these two, Kunkka and Pitlord, off the tower and let Luna take it. Instead, she's being held back really efficiently right now.
Oh, they're going to get the Torrent out onto the Illusion, nearly killing off the Shadow Demon. They do! 8 gold to Layla. Wow.
Wow, you hyped that up way too much.
That was the point. We got fake hype. And there's the Disruption combo. Oh, nearly killing off 2017, but that's going to be the first. How is that a first blood at 9 minutes? In any case, the KOD doing some legitimate damage to fire. As we want to try to stop this. Kunkka's going to go up here, but TC needs to keep that healing stop going. Derp trying to get in range for the telekinesis. He just throws out the Fade Bolt. And Luna will be able to get away. Yeah, fake hype is where it's at.
I mean, 2 kills in the tower. Very, very clean trade there for Fire. Coming out huge on that, and now they're going to rotate right down and basically grab this bottom T1 as well. You spoke of League when talking about Brax, and this is actually something that League has lended itself to Dota.
They nearly had vision of that TP coming in from Gyrocopter. That would have been terrible for them.
So in League, it's really standard that you just like shove your tower uncontested and then instantly rotate and try to shove this tower. And we saw that used a lot this morning in Dota Pit, where teams were doing that. Basically, anytime they rotate 3 heroes to a lane, you just put everyone to the other lane and shove it.
So wait, is Dota League now?
Dota is basically League now. Alright, Braxton gone on here, but there's really nothing to go on him with.
There's a missile.
Oh no, a missile. It's gonna connect!
Oh
Boom.
my god. It's okay, he's got Moonlight Shadow, he's fine. Ifrit's starting to go onto the Ancients right now, so he's got a lot of that gold coming into him, but he hasn't really been too active on the map. He's just 0, 0, and 0 with the highest tower damage in the game. Just kidding, he hasn't taken the towers at all either. But he's going to have a very long timing on the Desolator. Ifrit, yeah, just going to...
They just look at each other and agree that they're not killing each other, so they just walk on by.
Meanwhile, at bottom, Layla's taking a lot of damage from Brax. There will be the Gyrocopter coming in to tank up most of the battery assault then, meaning that Brax has to kind of get away. He's got a lot of creeps around him. It will end up going down, but Brax falls to the Rocket Barrage. And they try to chase down Whitebeard a little bit more. Meanwhile, at mid, Derp out onto Ifrit. The TP will come in through from the Luna. She wants to get the Lucent Beam there. Fluff and stuff throwing out the arrow. Derp is going to take it to the face, and that was just Titanic love there.
Does Ifrit even die there though? He had like 3 refraction charges left, and it was back on like up again. If you wanted to recast it.
Yeah, but you have to save him.
I mean, save your teammate syndrome. I don't know.
Jack, I won't let go.
Jeez. Okay, so OD did opt for the Midas, so taking the game way slower. They're in no hurry to look to end this game or even push hyper aggressively early on.
Oh no, Fluff's just up in a lot of trouble. He's going to get the weaker to the side, but he's just never ever going to get that off. Poor guy, honestly.
They're just never going to give him up.
They're going to let you down. He was just a little bit far out there. You don't need to say anything, baby. I know what it's all about.
He did buy his point booster beforehand, though, so good of him to not lose any gold, getting to that first piece of Ags. And the smoke is probably not going to find anybody. It's going to see a whole cleared jungle.
Radiant's
That's what a
bottom
Luna
tower
does. She clears the jungle and never goes back.
To have this.
There's one camp up there. It's good. Some nice clearing in the mid lane.
So this is going to be Fire's weak point, though. If they do fall on the back foot, their wave clear is exceptionally bad. They have a level 1 Shadow Poison, a level 2 Rocket Flare. That's about it.
OD not quite getting hit by the X-Torrent combo. Brax thinking about going in here. The Rock Throw comes in from the medical, and they're also going to get the cogs out onto Ifrit. Ifrit staying underneath the Maelstrom, and look at all the damage with the boat, the call down. So much damage on the Brax, and this is a combo that was the big problem for Fire. Whitebeard in a lot of trouble. He does have the disruption to keep himself alive, avoiding the Torrent, but that Pit Mouse is still going to be there. Whitebeard will not end up falling. He needs to make sure that his team doesn't give him the side blade damage, but Fire succumbed to the big Wombo combo from Wheel. Now they have to make sure that they can't let them get them up again. So that a weakness with this strategy is that the cooldowns are definitely something that Wheel have to work with. But also when you look at those cooldowns, they're actually some of the lower ones in the game.
Yeah, I mean, they're already almost ready to fight again if it comes down to it.
The only thing is it does take
There's
quite a
the
bit of
Eclipse.
mana. There's the Eclipse doing a lot of damage over to Wheel. Brink going over to the side. He's gonna
Brink.
not quite see the Pit. We're just sitting there trying to TP out. But Fire should be able to go onto the tower with this, sending in the Luna Illusions over to hit it. Torrent will stop this push a little bit. Brack's also going to get a deny off on the mid lane tower, so they take the denies. They should be able to get the tier 1 here because they'll throw out the boat. Whitebeard goes forward with the demonic purge. There's be a hook shot to the backside as well. Firestorm doing some work there on the Brax, but he's already got the blade mail going. 2017 taking a lot of damage here. Fire will go forward. Telekinesis will stun a few heroes. Derp nearly dead. That last hero will be able to find him. Now Fire have to start to back away though because Ifrit's doing some work with his damage now.
No,
DC.
you turn. You absolutely turn.
Yeah, they're going to try to go onto him. Oh my lord. Sandy's Eclipse dropped onto him. That arrow's just going to pass right on through, but it doesn't matter because right after the prison, Temper Assassin is going to die.
Your flow was so good for a second.
It was.
is under attack.
It's been a long day, you know?
That's how it goes. That's how it goes. So that was the first Sanity's Eclipse we've seen come down. OD just picking that skill up now at level 12. He's huge at this point. His 4-step is done. On top of that Midas that he stopped for. So he's ready to fight. He's just going to keep accelerating. The Potom's already halfway to Aghanims, and the Luna is exactly where you want her to be. She's at the point where you can hit buildings. She's got Yasha, she's got Dragonlance, she's got Dom. So
She could probably hit buildings whenever she wants, to be quite honest. And so could the rest of the team, because I empower them.
no.
Okay. I'm sorry.
It's just Luna. All the time. So the TA decided to go for Deso first before Blink, probably just because of the sheer amount of control that they do have on this Radiant lineup. But to get advantage of this control, all the fights have to be around objectives. They can't take these scrappy little fights in the rivers and in the jungles, or you're just going to get mowed over by that double disruption, the Potom arrow, the hook. Like, they have so many ways to take less than 5v5 fights on Fire's side that are just going to make them come out way ahead, that if you're Wheel, even if you feel like you're behind, you kind of have to do something as a team.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way that... Oh my lord. That arrow out on the pit ward. It's not going to do anything because Fire aren't here, but yeah, I totally agree. You got to make sure that if you're Wheel, you keep that team fight going because that's really your only way into this match. And there's going to be a hook shot on the backside. Brax getting out on the derp, getting thrown out of them as well by the telekinesis. The boat will definitely hurt here. Brax getting hit by it, but that pit ward gets hit with the arrow again. This guy's an arrow magnet. Derp in some trouble. He's gotten the disruption onto him, and it's not really going to be too good for him at all. 2017 just waiting to throw out something here, but eventually he will end up dying. Brax will get the kill. Yeah, Brax popping the blade mail in the middle of the firestorm, making the Underworld a very sad man. Brax right next to Ifrit as well. He'll go into the Meld Strike, but he'll be pushed away by the Sentry Ward. Double kill for Brax. They found 3, and they want a little bit more. Brink, nearly getting out to the Kunkka, but couldn't find him.
I'm really sad. Brink's Force Staff was up for most of that, and if he'd just pushed his way through the trees to break some of that vision, I think he has him. But either way, they come out way ahead in that fight, even with the wasted Eclipse and kind of sneaking his way out. So they should be healthy enough to pressure if they want to go for this T2.
Yeah, they definitely should, especially with the... Where's Shadow Demon? Where's that? Oh, he's at bottom. Yeah, whatever. Well, they should definitely be able to take it with the Shadow Demon, but as you said, the Luna can hit buildings, so she did. Boom.
Crazy, huh? She stared at a building for like 5 seconds and it's at half health. What a Dota hero.
What a player.
Thanks, Valve.
I don't even know why I still have CS on. I'm kind of tired.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I mean, we see Fluff and stuff. He's like 700 from an Aghanims. He's going to have an Ags by like 20 minutes on support bottom. So insanely good timing, and it's going to be something that's very, very hard for Wheel to deal with. The Rubik only has 1 point up in null field. We're not seeing a pipe come out anytime soon, so that double Star Storm is really, really going to hurt.
Well, there might be some kind of a positive for Wheel here. They'll go into the Roshan pit. They have the Death Raider on Ifrit, so this should be a pretty easy Roshan for them, as long as Fire don't catch wind of it. And Link is kind of sitting near the Roshan pit, and he puts the Shadow Poison out. Now they need to get in here. Brax is in the vicinity with his hook shot, and we'll see if they have the balls to go in here. Gyrocopter putting out the missile out onto Whitebeard. TC has the illusions available. They'll go up to the high ground, start to take down that missile. And Roshan's pretty low. Either team really could go in there right now. The smoke will get used by Fire. They'll start to go into it. Whitebeard continuing to try to zone Wheel away from this one. Yeah, but it should be taken very quickly. And how do Wheel get into the pit now? They don't actually know about this one. They smoked in. The flare comes out outside the pit. Age is still on the ground. Will be picked up by Layla. There's the boat. There's the pit of Malice. Drax taking a lot of damage. Series Eclipse run out as well. Brink just trying to get a couple of these heroes down, as a Dark Rift will take them away. They need to take down the Underwood, but they're not going to be able to. And that doesn't stop it. That does not stop it. This here is broken. Who made this?
So
thing?
I know X would have stopped it by pulling them back. I believe a Yules would stop it as well with the way that Yules works in this game. But yeah, no, neither disruption actually stops any of those heroes from leaving. So kind of unfortunate that when you know you can't kill the Pit Lord and he's just sitting there with his ult, it's just a depressing sight to watch your food just like disappear out in front of you.
Yeah, that's when you just start to itemize against the Pit Lord. Just buy a bunch of Dagons and then be done with it. That's totally worth it.
Look at this courier right now. There are so many items on this thing.
It's actually got a full backpack. That's what
It
happens
is a
when you pick
9-slotted courier.
up all those Aghanim Scepters. 9 slotted at 20 minutes. GG. It's over.
Pretty much. So yeah, Luna doing what Luna does. She kept the Aegis through the fight.
Oh,
I mean,
Fluff and Stuff picks up the bounty rune. Layla's mad about it.
man.
And he's going to get hit with an arrow. Now Fluff and Stuff in a lot of trouble. There's going to be a missile there. Rank gets the Force Staff forward. Call down gets dropped. Fluff and Stuff might be a little bit far in. He's going to get the leap away. And TC finds a kill somewhere else on the map. Brink is getting a lot of damage done to him. He'll be pulled back with the X. 2017 on the other side of this one. Brax coming in with the battery assault, trying to force him away from the Luna. There's going to be a stun out onto the Gyrocopter, but they can't quite keep the OD alive. Fluff himself still doing some work from inside the trees. They can't find him. He's still alive. He's actually getting out for now. There's going to be the torrent, and it will finally hit him. Layla tries to get out, and he will not be able to. That's going to be a full 5-man team win for Fire, but not without a little bit of flair from both teams.
6 Star Storms from Fluff in that team fight.
Radiant's top
6.
Ridiculous.
Like, he just stood there and won them that fight by not dying. Like, that was insane. The fact that Rubik had that ward and it took him like 12 seconds to realize if I put it up top, we'll see him and then we don't die anymore. Oh, I mean, it's one of those things that in the moment I can totally understand not picking up on that. But man, how painful did that end up for them? That was a 5 for 2.
Yeah, it was an absolutely ridiculous fight for Team Fire, and that puts Brax a little bit closer to his Aghanim Scepter so that he can miss all the hook shots and still be somewhat useful.
Damn, shots fired, dude.
Yeah, I'm not having any mercy right now. I'm
Should
just straight
respect your
savage.
elders, your Dota elders. So TC picking up the Manta is going to go back for that BKB, and she should be entirely ready on the Luna to end the game. Fluff's got everything he needs. Brax his Ags. Fire's ready at this point. Like, if your wheel, okay, your gyro eggs is coming in. I mean, it could be now if you wanted to sell the Bazzi, otherwise probably another 30 seconds. Ifrit is kind of close to a Blink Dagger, and then you've got a Force Staff up on Underlord now. You just still seem to be lacking the damage to take these fights well. In the time someone gets disrupted, the Helm of Dom and the Mech now and Shadow Demon are picking them up so much in HP that you can't really kill anything. You throw down all of your buttons, and unless you hit a 3 or 4 man boat, you really just aren't seeing any benefit there from all of those skills.
I think that they can kill something, but the problem is they can't kill everything on fire. Like, with the kind of combo that we are running, they really need to be able to just absolutely and dominantly win these team fights, but they're not even close to being able to do that right now.
Radiant's bottom tower has
Well, and I think this is where Ifrit not having a blink early on is really coming back to bite them. If you'd had that blink way earlier, before the Potom had the Ags or the SD had the Mech, those are pretty much free targets to blink, Meld Strike, and knock him out of the fight, even if you won't kill him. But instead, he hasn't really been able to do anything.
Look at all these illusions inside the base. Manta style glades all over the place. 2017 taking a lot of damage from it. Here comes the Where, and they nearly kill him off with just all those blades bouncing around. Still illusions are being up. TC about to step up a little bit more. Whitebeard getting eventually stunned by that homing missile. X, Torrent, TC doesn't seem to care about it too much at all. He still has the Aegis on himself. Boat will come through. Disruption keeping TC alive from there, and Layla nearly runs into that arrow for fun. TC nearly getting killed off, but he only has eyes for these racks, and he's going to keep healing for now.
He still has Aegis too. I mean,
yeah, he still has the Aegis. He's not going down anytime soon. There's a Hurricane Pike on the 2017. He should die to this unless he can. Nope, he cannot regen fast enough. Finally, that Aegis is taken off of TC, but that's just an extra life for himself. And to get the Manta style, more illusions inside the base. For some reason, Astral Imprisonment onto an illusion. Not really sure why they need to throw that.
You're almost a little hesitant to back up here if you're Fire. You have so many stolen int stacks already on that OD, and a Sanity's Eclipse is up. If he can just get a couple more off, he can slam that hammer and pretty much insta-give 3 of the heroes on Radiant. Like, you want to just keep that push going right now. You really don't want to let up pressure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's at the point where OD could just YOLO it, force step forward, blink, and then do away with them with the Sanity's Eclipse. Eventually those intelligence stacks will go away though, so he's gonna have to build them up again. I'm not sure if it matters though, because of all the slow pushing of fire, he can very easily get those again. Everything, pretty much everything is back up.
Oh yeah. No, if you're Fire, you just, I mean, this is a clean game to close out. You just have to relax and not overcommit, just hit buildings.
There's the BKB going in with the Sanity's Eclipse, just knocking them all out of the fight. Rubik dying as soon as that Astral Imprisonment is over. 2017 falls over. Buyback on the Rubik, but that will be it. Just one felling swipe from Fire, and it is over. 2-0. And they're pretty dominant here, getting back to their winning ways.
Yeah, I mean, very, very clean game. Pretty much everyone across the board played well. I thought some of Fluff's early game decisions may have been a little questionable, but overall, I mean, they had a strategy, they executed it, and they got to play Luna SD. That's pretty much all it came down to.
They got to play Luna SD, and they got a lot of their heroes as well. We didn't really see the same kind of team fight execution that we really needed to win this one, and it was pretty much just Fire burning on the dance floor from the get-go. You can talk now if you want. I give you permission.
So, I'm Xerox. That was with Pithy and Legume. That is our series. I believe that is the only one of the evening, correct?
Yep, that is the only one. So make sure you follow the COD League on Twitter and check out our my Twitter at Pithy and Legume on that site that you do Twitter on. Also ZRROCK on Twitter if you liked what Purge was saying on the other end of the cast.
Like the Purge was saying. Hey, everybody, this is Purge.
So, yeah, we're going to be done for now. You don't have to listen to us anymore. So, hope that you guys have a great night. Thanks for watching. And as always, see you next time.
Place your bets on more than 15 esports games using the worldwide payments and even Bitcoin. We offer 24/7 support and bonuses for every new user. Best esports bets on gg.bet.